Jagdeo, addressing a crowd at Enterprise Community Center on the east coast of Demerara, disclosed that the government had begun unveiling parts of a systematic plan to undermine the support base of the opposition with the aim of changing the demographics of the country. He said that if the government's plan succeeded and people lost hope in those communities that were devastated and adversely affected by the decision to reduce the sugar industry and eventually close it, then Guyana's future would be jeopardized.
The signs were there. We heard it in the Economic Services Committee, what they were saying about sugar, that it's a black hole. This was before they took office. And I warned on the campaign trail that this would happen. Many of our people thought it was idle talk, but they had signaled it already. And I guess they have two motivations for why they want the sugar industry to be closed. One, the first one, is they want us to lose hope, to give up on this country. That people who work in the sugar industry, who form the base of the PPP, they will just migrate, give up on life. And they will succeed in the future. They will change the demographics of this country.
The opposition leader laid the blame for the woes being faced by 4,763 workers squarely at the feet of President David Granger. Jagdeo contended that the decision to fire thousands of workers without a clear plan was not necessary, as he insisted that it was motivated by political ideologies. He said that he could not find any other reason outside of the fact that they wanted people to migrate and change the voting pattern, as he questioned why it was so hard for the government to utilize 1% of its budget to keep the industry going as it looked for solutions to deal with the problems facing the industry. But they wanted to shut the industry down, Jagdeo insisted, as he expressed scorn at the actions of politicians like Moses Nakamutu and Kembraj Ramjatan, describing them as flunkies and stooges who were spineless beings that were willing to run to the front so that they can continue to enjoy the perks that come with their portfolios. He insisted that this was not determined by economics but politics.
And they're all trying to point out that the subsidy was too much, so Granger inflated the subsidy by $32 billion. $32 billion. And I pointed out that since they took office, the subsidy has increased threefold. It was $4 billion a year on average between 2011 to 2014 under the PPP. They put in about $10.5 billion, yet in those years the sugar workers did not receive a salary increase. The API, they canceled the API. So where did the $10.5 billion go? And that's why I've called for an audit of the money that they put in the industry, whether it actually went into sugar or it's just fudging the books.
The opposition leaders' meeting came at a time when scores of workers across the country are complaining about the hardship they're made to face as a result of being unemployed and without an income to sustain their families. Michael Young, The Evening News.